Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for Put a Ring on It. So, this episode started where it left off with them trying to figure out if Shay was going to actually drop the boundary situation. Reluctantly, she said yes, so that he will be able to see where things go with Whitney. And then they actually got down to whether or not everybody was going to go on another date with the person that they had just gone out with. Everybody but Vince said yes. So yeah. Yes, that includes Hollywood. I was kind of shocked that he said yeah, but I'm glad that he gonna actually be a part of the process now. Y'all, so Shay went on her date with Rick. This is her third date with him. And straight away she lets him know that the boundaries that were in place have been lifted. And so he trying to figure out what he can do. But at the same time, she's telling him, yeah, I can, if we want to kiss, we can do that, the certain types of hugs and all this other stuff, but I ain't gonna go there. I want to see what Michael gonna do. And it's like, girl, how you gonna say that the boundaries have been lifted, but you gonna see what he gonna do? But then she gonna add in what I deem to be a lie by saying that they, meaning she and Michael, do this tit for tat. And I'm like, no, what happens is y'all get in the little, round, the little group setting. And whenever they let him go first to say whether or not he wants a second, third, fourth, fifth date with whoever, if he says yes to that, then you're like, oh, he said yes, so I'm going to say yes. It's you. It's one-sided from what I'm seeing. Y'all let me know down in the comment section if I'm just, I know I wear glasses, but just help me understand as to whether or not I'm seeing something completely different. But she's trying to make it seem like both of them have this little game that they play. And so if he do this, then I'm going to do that. It's literally one-sided from what I see. So it's like, girl, stop lying on him talking about his tit for tat. No, he tells you exactly how he feels when certain things happen, even though you don't give him what you need to give and you do not respond the way that somebody who knows their man has a whole child over here, he's still trying to be with you. And I'm like, sir, I would have been gone because ain't nobody got time. She don't even want you to be around your child. She don't even want your child to be in the same residence as the both of y'all. Like, no, you're not finna tell me I need to get an Airbnb. Y'all ain't gonna never get over that. I'm sorry, I'm tired of my spirit, but she gotta go. So anyway, Rick at this point is like, okay, I don't understand. If the boundaries have been lifted and he can do whatever he want to do over there, how you gonna say he can do whatever he want to do over there, but you telling me you ain't gonna do nothing? What are we really doing? And that's what I'm saying. This is stupid. She was like, I just gonna see what he gonna do. And I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna see what he gonna do. That don't make no sense. You wasted his time at this point. You're already, well, let me rephrase that. Michael is already wasting his time dealing with you from what I can see. And you are in turn wasting Rick's time. Just stop. Hollywood went out on his date with Shantae. Girl, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. You did tell me that I said it right the first time in the last video, but I don't know if I said it right this time. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to mess your name up. But anyway, Hollywood and Shantae went out on their second date, and it was like race car, bumper car, race car driving situation. Indoor racing, I guess is what they call it. And it looked like it was fun. I haven't done that in a really long time, like a really long time. But anyway, so after they were done doing all of that, they had fun. And, she said in her confessional that she likes going out on dates with Hollywood. And when they, have their interactions, it brings out her inner child. You know what I'm saying? And that's awesome whenever you can have fun and let loose with somebody. So anyway, they sit down and they eating. And so she was telling him how, scrumptious and things he be looking. And so he was like, what? Are you serious? And he had the audacity. Hollywood, you had the audacity to say out of your own mouth that sometimes you feel self-conscious or you don't think you look all like that. What? Y'all don't understand. I'm watching on my tablet, right? So where I'm at right now is where I'm sitting. I'm recording. I'm stopping and going and all of this. I'm literally watching it just like this. And he said that. I was like, he just got me rearing back. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, y'all, I'm just glad that he is not, or at least he doesn't come off as self-absorbed. Because there are some people who know they fine and they just walk around with this "I know I'm fine" attitude, and that comes off as very unattractive. So yeah, even though that might seem like an oxymoron, it just is what it is. But anyway, so they got into things when she was like, well, if you and your girl don't work out, what would you go, how would you go from there? Would we be able to have a chance? Like, how would it go? What would you do? What would you, what was going to happen? Well, Hollywood was honest, and I appreciate his honesty. But Hollywood said that, in all honesty, if they don't work out, that he just gonna go out with people from time to time and have sex. He's just letting it be 100. And I was like, I'm here for it, y'all. She said in her confessional that it is what it is, but she just wouldn't be dating. So I'm like, well, I don't blame you. So the ladies had a girls' night out and they were discussing a few things. So Ashley brought up wanting to know if this experience has actually brought up a sexual energy, like if it has actually helped with their sex lives. And Shay said it definitely has helped with hers because Michael wants to do it before the date, a couple of days before the date, after the date, and all the other stuff. In my opinion, I just feel like he still lived for her for whatever reason, and he just don't want her to get attached to him. So he feel like, well, if I get you before the date, you can have me on your mind and not have to feel like, oh, I have so much pent up sexual energy. I have so much pent up everything that we might have to just dish these cameras and go do something. That's what I feel it is. But whatever, because y'all see how she acted in the little confessionals. Well, when she's on her dates, like she's just like, oh, it's just the heat. The heat is just. I'm just like, but y'all know they hadn't been really having sex like that anyway. So I'm like, okay, it took y'all to go out on dates with other people to finally start back having sex. Like, what is? I don't understand. So anyway, strangely enough, Shay asked a question that they didn't know the answer to, which was, were there other things that have happened? Because she I'm sorry, they were talking about Tamika. She asked Tamika were there other things that have been happening within her relationship that she hasn't shared with the group, because she keeps mentioning 2 years ago. And so she was like, I mean, yeah, it was just kind of like a domino effect. One thing kept happening, and then, like, one thing happened and something else happened and something else happened. And then, like, one thing, I don't even remember her saying. If she said it, I don't remember, forgive me. But the last thing she said was, like, she went out of town for work and his phone was just magically dead. The battery was just magically dead. And so she couldn't get in contact with him, and he wasn't contacting her. And I'm just like, this is too much. Well, anyway, back to the sex part. Ashley said, Hollywood is too busy being mad for anything to pop off. It's actually been making everything worse for them when it comes to that. So yeah, but yeah, they feel like they really need this girl's time, and everybody is committed to the process. So hopefully they really are, and they're gonna get something out of it when this all is said and done. Y'all, production, why y'all do Devon like that? So y'all know Devon is Tamika's date. He was walking, and like I was like, who is this walking? Like the way they had him approaching where they were going, end up eating at. I was like, who is this walking up here? And it's like they started from the ground up. I was like, y'all do y'all was wrong. But anyway, Tamika, Tamika and Devon had their date, and I thought it was so awesome how he complimented her. And he told her, he was like, the last time I linked up with you, I forgot to tell you when you were leaving that I feel like, I was looking into your eyes, and I feel like if the sun were to hit your eyes a certain way, that it would just be over with. Like, you are so, like, he kept complimenting her. When he greeted her, gave her a little, the little church hug, a safe hug, and he told her she smelled good and she looked nice, and she told him the same. So they were talking, getting to know one another, and we found out that she loves belly dancing and she's into, the arts. And I mean, I already figured that anyway, because like I already told y'all before, I first knew of her existence from a lesbian TV show that I watched that was on YouTube. So I already knew she was into the arts and to some degree. I just didn't know that she was into that stuff too. So, but yeah, he was trying to let her know that, you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, being kind of shy about letting that side out and be seen, because she kind of feels like she keeps that inside and she doesn't really show that side. And I think that's kind of one of the things that she and Vince actually have a connection on, because y'all know he's into photography, and that is, you know, of course, a part of the arts. So yeah, y'all, they had a great connection, look like to me. She was here for the compliments to the point where she was in her confessional and she was like, you know what, you know, this is a clean slate with me having this date with him. So I have no reason to sit up here and not trust him. And, you know, Vince compliments her all the time, but she hasn't felt butterflies from anybody, you know, saying things to her. Especially since, you know, the beginning of their relationship. So despite him saying things to her now, and it's just not the same, she don't get those butterflies. So she actually was feeling a certain type of way when he was complimenting her. So I was like, yes, come through. So, you know, you could tell that she was very, very into this date, and I'm happy for her. Hopefully, you know, I don't know if I want them to be together. I just want to see what the process is going to bring out, because y'all know the communication is still not there with her and her man. So I don't know. We're going to see where it all goes. Michael and Whitney had their date. Michael discussed the boundaries and how they'd been dropped and all of that, but Whitney don't believe that. It's like, I mean, she asked him, like, are you sure that that's what she really want to do, or is she just saying this just to try to see what you're going to do? Is it a trap? Like, what's going on? Which is very smart to ask, because I don't trust it either. And before she even said she was going to drop the boundaries, I said, if she says she's dropping them, I feel like it's just a setup, so lies. But anyway, y'all, to make a long story short, he sat up here and told Whitney that he just feels like it's best that they remain friends and don't risk anything happening. And, you know, like, if it's meant for them to be something in the future, then it will happen. But he doesn't want to risk anything with what he currently has going on, just in case. And I'm just like, but you ain't got nothing going on. But go off though. I ain't here for it. I'm just not. So Dr. Nicole dropped by to see Shay at the house. And from what I can ascertain, what she said was she guessed she gonna have to accept Michael's son. Basically, if she gonna get married, if she gonna get him, she gonna have to go ahead and say, I accept the son. And I'm just like, you can't make it seem like yesterday and before you, from yesterday. Okay, let me try to reword this. To me, you cannot sit up here and tell me for the last 6 years since you've known this man that this child has been in existence. Now, all of a sudden, you have flipped a switch and you are now willing to accept his son and, oh, I guess I can be a bonus mom. Girl, you have been adamant this whole time saying you don't like kids, you ain't gonna try. And now she talking about, well, I mean, I've never tried, but I guess I can try now because I want to get married to him. I want him to marry me. Somebody please pick me. I want to be married so bad that I'm willing to just do. I can't. I don't feel like it's genuine. I feel like if you don't like kids, then you don't like kids. Why did you get with someone who has a child? You know that you don't connect with him, but you all of a sudden are like, well, I guess I'm going to have to get used to his son being around. I guess I ain't got no choice but to let him live with us. No, he already told you the son going to come live there. So, I can't. I'm tired. But anyway, I ain't here for it. Whatever. I don't believe her. I don't. So, Ashley and Kwame went out on their date. Y'all, again, they were walking into the place looking like a whole couple again. look like a whole couple out here. So anyway, they were talking, and he let her know that he was very excited for their date. He missed her and couldn't wait for the date to pop off. And she was letting him know, like, I really enjoy our dates. I really like our dates too. And I'm kind of scared because I like our dates and I think I like you. And he was like, well, I'm glad. And y'all, she was in the middle of talking to him because he asked her about, what are your pet peeves and all this other stuff. And she was literally in the middle of talking and telling him that she likes things decent and in order, meaning she wants to be married and then have kids. And she had forgotten what she said because he was looking at her like he was paying such close attention to her that she was like, why do you keep looking at me like that? You need to stop looking at me like that. And he was like, what you mean looking at you like what? Like, I'm looking at you right and your eyes are paying attention to you. And she had to ask him, what was she even talking about? Because she had completely, like, I'm telling you, the like is strong with this one. The like is strong. So anyway, she trying not to catch feelings. But oh no. So everybody has come back together and they're discussing how their dates went. Well, Michael admitted that he has moments of insecurities, and Shay actually admitted that she can be selfish, and that is what actually drives her to do the things that she does. Well, moving right along to Hollywood and Ashley. Hollywood said that, he went on his date. He had fun on his date, but he ain't trying to catch feelings, and he don't want nobody to catch feelings because at the end of the day, he trying to go back to his girl, and that's it. So I'm just like, no, you still not really fully doing what you need to do to be a part of the process, Hollywood. Ashley started discussing how her date went, and she said it went amazing and that he treated her like a queen, like nothing but glowing reviews all around. Well, Dr. Nicole asked Hollywood what that made him feel like, and he was just like, look, everything she's saying that he's saying, I've been doing that and still do that 9 years later. My thing is, I hear you, Hollywood, I hear you loud and clear, but I was in a relationship with somebody for 10 years. When we first got together, everything was amazing. In my eyes, everything was amazing. I had fun. Everything about this person made me have butterflies, all that. And it started to dissipate. He kept trying me. We weren't on the same wavelength at times for stupid reasons. And, I'm going to say we, even though I feel like it was mainly him. We would have moments where the smallest things would throw us off track. And despite us being engaged, it just was what it was. He wanted to do what he wanted to do. He wanted everything to be on his time. He did not see the value in me, and it's over now. It is what it is. God allowed that to be over with, and I'm glad that is the best thing that has happened to me within 10 years. Now, hopefully, y'all will rebound, and this process will actually work for y'all. My ex was not willing to go to counseling with me. He was not willing to do that. He was not willing to do anything that would actually help with communication issues that we started to have and any of that. So I'm just saying, I feel like if you do everything you need to do, you should be able to save it if it actually is worth saving, especially if the good outweighs the bad. But I, again, understand where Hollywood is coming from because he lives for Ashley. So I'm glad that he was honest in saying that. I understand what she's saying, but I'm cool that she dating and she, getting some out of the process, but it hurt. Y'all, we are at the end of the episode and it gets very, very explosive. Tamika is expressing how her date went and how old boy was like, you shouldn't, be shy about sharing your art and all this other stuff. Just basically everything we talked about earlier in this episode. And he was just looking like, because he says this stuff to her all the time anyway. But again, he's not understanding that it doesn't have as much weight because of what he's done to her and how he's treated her and things that she has continuously found out. So then Dr. Nicole addresses it, and she's trying to get him to understand that this is not the way, and that his body language needs to match up with what he's saying, because it's not on the same wavelength at all. Y'all, oh my gosh, why did they get into it? It got into it something terrible. I was like, somebody please stop it. She said, you know, she brought up the situation where the woman was leaving out of the apartment, the house, or whatever again, and he was following behind her. He kept telling her she lied and that this situation never happened. And she was like, no, I didn't sneak over to your place. He tried to accuse her of sneaking over to his place. And I'm like, okay, either it happened or it didn't. And then you trying to say, well, you snuck over to the house. Why would somebody have to sneak over to your house if y'all together? Somebody should be able to come over and see you. She said that she had come in from out of town, and this was the same instance where his phone magically was dead and all this. So I assumed that she was trying to contact him. Oh my gosh. Got into it because she was like, if that was your roommate's girl or company of his, why were you the one escorting her out of the house? Like, that don't even make no sense. And she said she went in his phone and was able to confirm that it was the same exact heifer. So it's like, why are you lying? And he keeps telling her that she lying, and it just got explosive, y'all. The most is gonna go on next episode. I can't wait. Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review. Put a ring on it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like this video. Comment down below. We need to go ahead and get this conversation popping, because I know some of y'all feel a certain type of way about Shay. Y'all know I ain't here for her, so we can talk about that too, even though I'd rather not. But anyway, I still stand by what I said about her. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good weekend. I'll be back a little bit later on with another recap review. I hope y'all have a good one. Bye.